everyone, welcome back to the cottage. I'm Cheyenne with the Rosevine Cottage Girls. Today we are tackling things that you can start in a shade garden and still feed your family with. So, we had somebody ask us what you could do if your yard is completely shady but you still want to grow food, even if it's just a little bit. So we pulled together our favorite shade items for you to start in your garden, and I think the easiest thing to start with would be your greens. So you could do microgreens, lettuce, kale, spinach, things like that. If you're still getting frost and it's pretty cold there, avoid things that are going to need quite warm conditions to thrive. Things like butter crunch, muscilin, romaine, green mixtures are going to do quite well in the shade. They don't need a lot of sun. Actually, if it gets quite warm where you are, they're going to do better in the shade because the sun tends to make them bolt and go to seed. Some more things you could try are cauliflower, broccoli. These technically could go in the sun, but if you live in a place that gets quite warm, they're going to do better in the shade. Like here, we can get away with putting these in the sunshine early, but they're going to, by summer, be bolting. Well, not even by summer. In a couple months, they're going to go to seed. So if you live somewhere that's going to get quite warm or it's already warm, go ahead and put these in your shade. Radish can totally go in the shade. Same with carrots. They are quite fast growing. There's tons of varieties. White, red, there's mammoth ones that we just are last of the seeds. And carrots, there's rainbow mixtures. There's these Asian purpley ones that we got from Baker Creek. I don't know if they still have these in stock. They've been all their seeds are flying off the shelves, so I don't know if they've still got them or who's shipping. But they come in all kinds of colors and shapes and sizes. If you are looking for something that's going to come in really fast, harvest them early and you'll have baby carrots and be already having food. Another thing you can do are these Chinese cabbage types. This is a dwarf pak choy. They're ready to harvest at 2 inches tall. They can handle some heat. They prefer not to. It can send them to seed. They do best in cool spring or fall conditions. Peas can absolutely grow in the shade. Here in the south, the summer heat is going to send these into just kill these by probably mid-May, if not early June. We've already got ours in. It's where our beans are going to go, so we're okay with that. But if you have a shady yard and are still wanting to plant, these can absolutely go in the shade. Just make sure that they've got something to climb on. And with a shady garden, you've got to remember that you don't have to water quite as much as if you had a garden in the full sun. So be mindful of how much water you're putting on it. And if you have a place that has a bit of sunshine, make sure that you're putting your garden beds there, because they still are going to need, they could still use a little bit of sun. If you don't have it, don't worry. You can also try to trim trees to provide as much light to that area as possible, even going so far as to paint a fence or a wall a lighter color to help to reflect the light back onto your plants. Both English peas and snow peas can be put in this way. If you're wanting to do something like pea sprouts and peas, then you can absolutely sew them tighter together and then harvest or thin out the pea ones that are too close and use those as pea or bean shoots. So you've got food faster, but you're still growing in the shade. Also, you could try things like arugula, beets, Brussels sprouts, Swiss chard, celery, Chinese cabbage, like the pak choys and the bok choy. Garlic, you can try to grow that in the shade. Same with onion sets. They technically can go in the shade. They don't necessarily like the shade, but they absolutely can go in the shade. Horseradish, kohlrabi, leaf lettuce, leeks, mustard greens. Most green leafy lettuce type things can be grown in the shade. Parsnips, spinach, turnips, bush beans. Bush beans can be grown in the shade too. They tend to like the sun more, but they can be grown in the shade. Basil. Basil does like the sunshine, but if you're growing it for more of an ornamental variety, you can totally get away with putting it in the shade. Catnip, chives, parsley, asparagus, rhubarb, those can all be grown in the shade, but rhubarb and asparagus are going to take quite a while before you get food off of them. I believe that asparagus, like the first year, you don't harvest it at all. Same with the rhubarb. You can try to grow some tomato varieties like glacier tomatoes or anything that has a place that's cold in front of its name, because these are varieties that are meant to grow in colder climates where the season is much shorter. So you can totally try to grow these. Another great way to get away with a shade garden with some of these varieties that need more sunshine is to do a container garden and then move them into a place that has sunshine every once in a while, or put it on a porch or whatever that's got sunshine, and then just twist your pot around like a third of the way every day so that each side gets some sunshine. And that's pretty much it. I hope this helps. Again next time for another video at the cottage.